Hey, okay, let me just make sure all's well with the stream, and then we can get going. I need to also remember what I did in stream number 8 because it's been 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks exactly. And the reason it's been 3 weeks is because I did, unfortunately, experience a layoff from the job I was employed at full time. And yeah, just been getting, getting my stuff in order. But I'm good. I'm feeling good. And doing streams like this is going to help keep me sharp. So, okay. Yes, excellent connection. Good. Okay. Right on. Yeah, let's figure out where I left off. Oh, and I guess that's something else too. I get an administrative note with the time change, with the sun setting earlier. I don't think I will be streaming in the morning Eastern time. I would prefer to do evenings because I want to take advantage of the daylight. There's less of it. So probably going forward, you can expect evening streams, something around 7 o'clock Eastern, like this. So, okay, now we can get into it. So I remember doing stuff with the bookmarks bar for Chrome, right? And we're figuring out color theming, of course, and we're starting with Chrome, but we have a lot of our componentry sorted out. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think we have started to get into spacing, right? So color themes is here, and then I was beginning to work on the different browsers. And this makes sense to be concerned with spacing, right? Because yes, we're gonna have tabs for all of our browsers, but they're gonna have different font sizes, right? I'm just making sure over here that I am not blocking important things. Something like that should be fine. Okay. Good. So let's see what we do have sorted out here. We have a group for typography. We've started to figure out tabs, spacing for the tab bar, the tabs themselves, right, going component level, and then color theme. Yes, right, this is where we are going to have to start aliasing in information from the color theme collection, so that way Chrome also has access to its light and dark mode variables. So let's go back over to these browser mode, or yeah, color themed components. Yes, I remember working on extension container. It looks like I left some comments for myself. Hovering on the puzzle icon does not make the stroke appear on the container. Stroke only appears for the actual extensions. How about this one? Oh, these were the potential enhancements that we could make to the URL input itself. Okay. I also want to come back here and kind of see what's available. Yeah, I was starting to test out like Safari, Firefox, Chrome, right, for the tabs and where they sit. Okay. I think something we can continue working on with the tabs is, I mean, yeah, the spacing, right? Like the minimum height. So let's cut this component. I don't know if I want to cut that from there. Let's, I think this needs feet in cases where it is the first or last tab in the set. If I cut this to my clipboard, oh, the comment stays where it is. That's unfortunate. I want to move this to this page, and I want to work on getting the shape of these tabs correct. Oh, good. Okay, that did cut and paste. Excellent. It didn't appear to at first. And then what I'm going to do is actually take this screenshot here. No, I guess this is where we're putting things when they're done, but I think I'll need to temporarily cut the component to my clipboard and put it over here so I can take some measurements. Also, Keystroke Pro is not going. That's not what I wanted to do. Give me just one moment. I want to make sure that you can see the keystrokes. Get that enabled. All right, good. Back to the stream. Okay, top top left corner is where you can expect to see those as per usual. Okay, so with the spacing of our tabs, right, we were figuring out the max width. Padding has yet to get figured out. So let's sort that out. We have currently, and I need to refamiliarize myself, we've got our hover container right pipe on the left. This has 2 and 2. And why do we have it like that? I think we have it like that because, yeah, you need to be able to do that. So overall, we're dealing with a height of 34 pixels. One way we could do that is just hard code it, right? And set the height to 34. And then do that across the other ones. But I kind of prefer hug. I think that's more sustainable in the long run. Sustainable to change. Not that I don't think this is going to change that drastically. So if we have a height of 34, but we're currently at 24, we're missing 10 pixels. So for Chrome, we need some top and bottom. We need to add 8 pixels to the top and bottom padding. Let's also see what we're working with. If we have 2 on the left and right. Well, yeah, let's start with that. We need 8 here, but I suspect we're going to need a different number for our left and right padding. So I'm just going to use a rectangle to measure. This is 10 pixels wide. Do we have 10 over here? Could be 10, right? That doesn't quite touch. We're 2 pixels short from actually touching the icon, but let's actually see. Does this have... Oh, this comes with quite a bit of padding. Like almost 4 pixels there. So, yeah, it'll be different. So let's actually... Alice's blog. Let's put a stroke on this so we know what we're doing. If we apply padding to the top and bottom, then we are a bit much here. We are 1 pixel a bit much. We need to go, oh wait, no, actually by 2. This needs to get shorter. 7 pixels? Surely that can't be right. But that looks right. Okay, 7 pixels for the top and bottom, but then that's not going to work if we do it on the left and right, right? Let's plug that in and see what we get. Oh, oops, that is the instance. And I was working on the instance for the other one anyway. So we'll put our padding here, padding here. Wow. Oh, what a shame that I can't type and then use my down arrow key to get into this list. That's really annoying. Okay. That is almost correct for this one. We need more padding to shift the favicon over, I think. We also, yeah, we need more padding over here too. So how did we name that other places? We'll call this TB, but then we'll duplicate it. And we'll do left, right. And then for all these instances, we need to update this to be left, right. And now let's 8 pixels looks closer. What I really care about is that this, not necessarily that space is correct, but that these line up. And they do. Good. Okay, so 8 pixels left and right, 7 top and bottom for Chrome. Good. Let's figure out what this ought to be for Safari next. So we will come down here. Cute kitten. We will put this into the mode of Chrome. Oh, they might have moved the variables around on me. See, this is why I need to be doing these streams. Wow, so they changed the icon. Yeah, this helps me keep me sharp. Okay, so we want this to be in Safari mode, and let's just put it in dark mode for ease of operating here. Oops. Let's lock that group. So if we up that to 4, that looks good. I'm kind of inclined for Safari. It might not need any left and right padding. And hover container. Right now it's set to fill, but we kind of, in Safari, we need it to be hug almost. How do we deal with that? And for Safari, like if I was hovering over this and closing the tab, we also need this X to show up on a different side. So one way that we can handle this is by having more stuff inside the component, and we use Boolean variables to show and hide things in the right mode. But what you lose with that is the ability for overrides to persist between modes, because it's actually going to be a different text layer. You can imagine that we have another label specifically for Safari mode that, or even another hover container that has all this stuff inside, another closed tab, right, in the correct position, but just hidden away. But in the case where there's text overrides, it's not desirable for consumers, because I should be able to flip to Safari mode, Chrome mode. I think I've talked through this before and I'm forgetting what I said, but you know, losing overrides isn't good. We want to avoid it if we can. So if we're trying to avoid that, we need to be more clever. How do we go about doing that? I'm also wondering about how these are organized. I just took a workshop with Nathan Curtis about token architecture, and I need to go back through that material, see what learnings I can pull out in terms of, like, do we organize by component? Do we organize by this like concept that we're talking about, typography or spacing, or some other thing that I hadn't considered? Because I'm also wanting to hide this pipe, right? That is specific to, well, not necessarily. We could convert that into whatever this is. But that actually, you can tell because of the shadow, this actually belongs to the other tab, the inactive tab. Oh, I'm just puzzled about what to do with the label. Let's move on to Firefox. That will be a little bit more friendly. I'm remembering now also that this is a theme that came up a lot when I was doing some of the planning process of just noticing that Safari is going to be weird. It's going to be the odd one out. Okay, for Firefox, and let's put this in Firefox mode, we need top and bottom padding to be 8, and we need left and right to be 6. Let's see how that looks over here. We are a little off. On the right padding. Let me really quickly go to this instance. So we've got our Chrome icons, but then we also need to, I guess, have our like Firefox icons, our Safari icons. And again, we can load up these instances so the correct thing gets shown. For things like buttons, things that you're not going to override, you won't override the colors or anything. That's a safer thing to do. It's where it's losing the text layers is one that feels worse to me. So it seems for Firefox, I need to push this in more. And so I need to create a number variable specifically for padding right. And then this is going to become padding left. For Chrome, and then eventually Safari, we will just mimic it. But, oh wait, actually I can push stuff to the main component, can't I? So I'm gonna break that, separate these out, padding left, padding right. Man, I wish that arrow key was working. And then how do I push changes to main component? What? Push changes to main component. LOL. What's going on? Oh my gosh, it broke all my variables. Okay, that was dumb. Not doing that again. Okay. Instead, we will go to the main component and do things here. That was so silly. And then we can return to this instance and increase the right padding to 8, which that looks a bit better. That puts the X, is it 7? More in line. I mean, and we need to get the correct glyph in there too, right? Like this is not currently the one. It needs to be thinner, but yeah, it's the same dimension. So okay, so 8 pixels on the right, 6 on the left. Good. And it looks like our favicon is the right size. We do need, here's something else, some space between inside the hover container. Right now it's 4. So number. Space between favicon and label. We'll just be really, really explicit. So let's go back up to Chrome. Figure out what that is. we want to be in Chrome mode. We'll do light, label. Yeah, we definitely need more space here. And let's make sure that we apply that. So that's going to be on the hover container, space between, right? And that moved down to 0 because we have 0 as the value for Chrome, but now I can push this over. Let's actually update the label so that way we can actually get that in place. Looks like it's 7. So many weird little 7s for Chrome. Okay, I know that it's not sitting on the right baseline yet. Like, we need to move everything up. In fact, actually, I wonder if this is a result of our top and bottom padding not being quite right. Maybe, yep, we might need to split this out. So let's duplicate this with padding top and padding bottom. And let's go back to the main component and make sure padding top is using padding top, but padding bottom, it's not. Return to the instance here. So now we need to decrease padding top by 3, increase padding bottom by 10. Why didn't that apply? We are in Chrome and in light mode. Reset. Let's add a stroke. Okay, that reset seemed to do something good. We can do the border radius. Oh, that was something from Nathan Curtis's workshop. Size and space are different things. Size, and I liked this definition. Size is the dimensions that something has. It is the area that it occupies. Space is empty, is the emptiness around something. And so padding is not really spacing. It adds to the dimensions. It directly affects the dimensions of something. If I change these values, the width and the height change. Space between, however, this is space. It has space in the name. And so I might want to separate padding from space. In fact, we can think of this as padding. Right? And then these can become just top, right, left, bottom. These can become is there a way to tab down? Top, bottom, left, right. Oh. Just a moment, I am getting a phone call. Okay, I'm back. I think it was a pocket dial. My name tends to put me at the top of people's contact lists since it starts with an A, so I'm vulnerable to pocket dials. Okay, I was gonna move, yes, this into a new group. This is gonna be space between, let's just call it out. And then I guess here we can name things. Let's do a new group because we need to name things after. We want diamond tab. See, this is where it gets weird because it's like, I guess we're only going to really have these two. Like what? We've got typography, padding, space, and then I guess we'll have border radius. Oh, man. So this could then become favicon label. I don't know. I'm not sold on it. What did my grand scheme? Here I was, and I think I probably covered this in the last stream. This feels very deja vu familiar. I organized by component. And I think that actually, yeah, I think this feels better to me. Because we've only got so many things. We've only got so many pieces of anatomy, I mean. Okay, first let's get the favicon and label spacing sorted out, and then I will deal with resorting. This one's probably going to be 4. Oh, it's 5. Okay. And it looks like 6 for Firefox. Hmm. 5? This could change when I update the font family and font size, actually, and that's probably what I should be doing first. Typography for tabs. Oh, but okay, I've kind of done it, and I think I had this hunch before. Okay, well, I accomplished what I wanted to there. Let's regroup things into tabs. And so I can just use one of these existing ones. So in fact, this will be an easier one. Oh, no, but I don't want to copy. I want to new group. So this is going to become, I'm going to move this group out. So we'll have everything for tab. And then this is going to be typography specifically for tabs. This, though, this is still relevant, having this big typography group. I think I'm going to say text. This is another thing I learned from Nathan Curtis's workshop, is that there's this balance of clarity and brevity, even though we really might mean typography, typography in general. Text is shorter and saves you some space in here. So for our tabs, we have text. For our tabs, we also have padding, this stuff. So let's move these, let's put these in a group called padding, and then move this into tab. Just confirmed it was a butt dial. Pocket dial, butt dial. All right, we've also got space between. So let's put tab inside of tab. Let's rename this space between. And then we have tab bar here. This looks like padding. So let's keep the tab bar group, but then nest these further because tab bar is its own thing. New group, padding. And then text, right, this is kind of global. I kind of want that to stay at the top. Actually, no, it should stay at the bottom for me for now as the person who's building stuff because I don't need to deal with this now that I've set it. Okay, and the color theme, I kind of want that to go, really wrestling with the specific hit area here. That can stay at the bottom too. Okay, so now we're organizing by the object and then attributes of the object. This feels better already to me. Here's everything that we have to do with tabs, right? Okay, good. So what other attributes? I guess we could deal with the corner radius. Yes, that will be another one. So let's go back up to Chrome. And we are going to have to split this one out, right? Because top is going to be different from bottom. So let's add a number variable and we'll call this top. We'll put it in a group. And with that group, we can have the context of corner radii or corner radius. I'm going to start doing all lowercase for everything. This is another way to save a little tiny bit of space. I like it for the space saving. Okay, corner radius, top left and top right. For Chrome, again, let's go over here. And we want to split these out. Oh, and I should be scoping. I haven't been doing that. This will also help with scoping. It'll make it more clear. Max width, hold on. Let's use Nathan's term. We'll call this size. Then we'll call this space. Good. I think I already did this one. Good. Space. Good. Okay, good. Everything's scoped in here for the space that I'm working in. All right, and then, right, shape. Oh, and this is about, this is about shape. Oh, wait, hold on. Size is kind of also about shape. Like the size of the shape, but then like, what does that shape look like? I'll keep them separate for now. Okie dokie, let's go over to our instance and bump up Chrome until, now hold on. Why isn't that working? Let's reset. Okay, now it's working. I think it's probably 10. Okay, 10 for the top and bottom, good. And we're gonna need to add those feet for, well, actually maybe they're already in there. Perhaps we've already done that. If this is an active tab, yeah, we don't have our little feet. Okay, so we need to go in and do that at some point. Let's figure out how round Safari is, which is 0, so that's great. We know that. And then for Firefox, it's probably something like 2, 4. 4 looks right. And we'll need to duplicate this for the bottom for Firefox. Bottom left and right. 0 here. Okay, good. What else is there about the shape of this? I'm still so puzzled about how we're gonna get this centered. If we can't swap out the text, or if we don't want to have multiple text layers because is there something we can do to push this to the middle? Can we add extra things around this hover container? And then what is in here? The favicon, the label. This thing would get hidden for Safari. Yeah, both of these would get hidden, but we need, what I need, I really need to be able to apply strings here. I'm also thinking about minimum and maximum widths and if there's some trickery to be done with those. We don't have any yet. And we do have clip contents on, and I suspect we need that. Yes, for when the label runs along. Oh, I can continue to avoid this problem by doing the shape for the hover. The hover for this thing. Ah, dang it. The hover container padding, which is another piece of anatomy within the tab. So this is interesting. And like this is something like tabs go within tab bar, but yeah, I think what I'm gonna, but it belongs to this component. I think what I'll do, we'll put a number in here. We'll call it padding top. No. Yeah. Padding top. We'll give it a group. This will be, we need our little cute little frame symbol. So this will be hover container, which belongs to tab. And it itself has a corner radius too. So it's also going to need, we're going to have a group for padding. So now this can just be top, and then I'll duplicate this. Let's put this in hover container. Top 2 also needs shape, right? This is where we're going to have border radius. Might as well spell these out. I don't know. Something else from Nathan Curtis's workshop was being very intentional about how you use underscores and dashes. Dashes mean there's like leveling going on, but underscores can replace a space, kind of tie something together. If you need multiple words associated with each other, they're part of the same thing. Some examples might come up for us later, but for now, okay. Padding for the hover container. Let's assume top and bottom are going to be the same. Top, bottom. And let's edit this. We want these to be auto layout things. I wish that they would name that something else. Left, right. Okay. And where's my little example guy? Did I delete him? No. Okay. Or maybe I did. Okay. Doesn't matter. Let's go forward. We need this to be in hover. Oh no, the screenshot that I just took. Hold on. No, that does appear to be correct. Okay. So let's put this in. I thought that Chrome might have updated on me. Now let's do light. Now hold on. I had this all locked in. What did I change by accident? So let's go to tab, size, maybe the top padding. And the bottom padding? How strange. Okay. Oh no, and see, look at what we're running into here. the padding of tab changes based on the interactive state we're in. Oh my goodness. Because watch what's going to happen when I put this in its hover state. Like, I need... There's that much there. Oh. Oops. Hmm. I just want this at 50% opacity. There we go. Okay. Oh, I wonder if the max width changed. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So the size. So we need top, and then for the state, I'm going to say this is our top in default. Then we're going to duplicate this top hover. And for Chrome, it changes. It changes to 0 because this is what I need to do. I need to have this aligned there. And because these are all hover state variants here, top hover, boom. So now in our default state, what the hell? Oh my, why is this so tall? Hold on, reset. What is up? This is so bizarre. That is so bizarre. I'm sure I'm going to figure it out when I watch this back. but it's kind of freaking me out that I've been having to fiddle with the padding so much. Like, let's look at this prototype real quick. I want to fix these couple extra pixels here. My max width seems to not be calculated quite correctly. The max width is different. On hover? That can't be right. I am regretting stepping away from this for 3 weeks. This 8 pixels is not correct. I guess it's because of the feet. I think that's what's going on here. This is another piece that we'll need to do. the width of it. I'm looking to see where, or like how I can get the blur to kind of match. And then I will increase the width till it gets to the edge. Okay, 52. Good. And I think this is going to be something we need for Firefox too, presumably. Yes. So the width will be different on Firefox. So within tab, we are going to need another number. This will be, this is part of the size. And this is going to, but this is also, well, first, 52. Put it in a group. This is another piece of anatomy. So we need that, and this is going to be label overflow gradient. Group names I'll be less concerned about, but yeah, the variable names I will. This is the width, plain and simple. Okay. And then the placement of this guy. We cannot apply variables to X and Y coordinates yet. Oh, could you imagine? But we can nudge things into place and then show and hide them. And you can see that I don't have the font size quite right because the text gets out of alignment. Okay, I think we can add the feet in. And as I understand it, we only need feet for the active tab, which is so nice. Oh, what do you know? Right curve. Got him. But why are we missing those here? Does that fix it? Okay, let's put this as a prototype. Let's see how this looks. Not quite right. yeah, the padding is off on, yeah, okay, we did need some of that padding. And it needed to, that was where those 8 pixels came from. Okay, check this out. Size, right, 8. But we need it to be, mm, left and right are going to be separate. The right needs to be 0 to make up for the 8 pixels of the parent container. The left can stay. Still not quite right. Or is it? Maybe that is. Maybe it's something like 4. Mm-mm. I'm looking at this space between the new tab button and an active tab, and mine it's touching, which we don't want. But I kind of need there to be 0 pixel space between to get the tabs to work the way I need them to work. Yeah, and that's how they are constructed too. Like there is no empty space between these, but there is a little bit here. So this could go in a container that has some left padding to push it over. Is perhaps the solution. Okay. This is good though. We got Chrome kind of figured out. Right, and then we've got active neighbor. Oh, and this is exciting. Something new is being able to target, like we can set up text variables that get applied to component text properties at the main component level. And there might be some fancy prototyping we can do. We can like target this property in a prototype now, I think, I don't know, I gotta look into it. This is a feature that shipped, I think just this last week. Okay, did we go through all the anatomy? What about the size of the little pipe? Oh, this is so brilliant that the pipe gets hidden by, this is another reason why it needs to be 0 pixels. You can see here in this tab that the pipe is there, but it's obscured away. We also need to round its corners. And this might be a Chrome only thing, in which case there's no reason to use variables for it. So we can just round it with a raw value. Make it 2 pixels, and this is something else. We can just add the boolean Chrome only, and then for the rest, in fact, we can do Safari only. We'll just set these up in advance. Firefox only. And we might need other permutations of this, right? Or like combinations. We might need a Chrome and Safari. I think we're going to have some that are Chrome and Firefox. I can definitely see that. Something that we need to have present for both of these, but then other elements that are only for Safari. I very much doubt we'll have like, this is true for Safari and something else, because Safari is just, the design of it is so different. So these will be good universal things to have in this little pipe. Probably want that to be a Chrome only thing. So let's go ahead and attach Chrome only to the pipe. Okay. And probably the same for the little feet. These are Chrome only feet. What other parts of this? I guess we can start doing the same for Firefox. We might be good to go. Okay, so we've already got variables set up. Let's get this into Firefox mode. We'll leave this as dark. I'm gonna try and size these. We clearly don't have the colors right. But right now we're concerned with space. Okay, so tab, size. We do need to push. Oops, that's not it. Push the label down a bit. Okay, and then left, right. Actually, the right looks good. Okay. The shape. We might be good on the shape. Yes. Yeah, 4 and 4. The text could use cute alligator. And let's get rid of the fill for a moment. Is it like 11 1/4, 11 1/2? Weird values. Let's revisit the size again. That's much closer. Okay. The hover container is the whole thing. Since the hover container is the whole thing, we are going to need to have like bottom hover, left hover, right hover to zero these out. Mm-hmm. Hold on, 4. I'm losing steam. The drawback to doing evening time streams is that I know my brain is better in the morning. So I'll have to evaluate and see if I actually want to do evenings, but I like the idea of this being a way to spend the nighttime rather than the daylight. But still, progress was made. I think it'll make more sense. I need to go back and give timestamps to session 8 and then timestamps on this one. I think watching session 8 is going to be good. It's another benefit to like only working on this when I'm streaming is I can go back and see exactly what I was thinking and doing. So all right, I will try and come up with a better schedule now that I have more time on my hands. But I also, it's a different kind of context I'm in, not having a 9 to 5 necessarily. So stay tuned for session number 10. Thanks.